Good morning and howdy, my dear friends. Hey, I'm going to try to make it through this video without sleeping. No promises, though. I don't know what the heck happened yesterday, and I felt like I was on Mars all day, out of my mind. I don't know what happened. I felt weak. I felt lethargic. I felt my brain felt foggy all day. I couldn't think. But I don't feel that way today, but I may fall asleep again, who knows. I slept really good again last night like I did the night before, so I don't know what's going on. Probably old age, dementia. I hope it's not Alzheimer's. I need somebody here to do my thinking for me. Y'all, I went to YouTube to see where I left off yesterday, so I know where to start today. And there was a video, I don't know who they were. I've been watching a lot of airplane and flying videos lately. I still watch probably 7 or 8 preachers a day, sermons, full sermons. And I watch a lot of the question and answer sessions between people, the audience, and R.C. Sproul and John MacArthur and John Piper. There's another one that I like that's usually on that panel. I can't remember his name. He's a Scotsman. But anyway, I love those things, and I learn a lot from them. Or I have my memory refreshed a lot by watching them, and I seem to need that a lot lately. But anyway, I took flying lessons back in the 80s, and I soloed, I finished, but I never flew again after that, and I loved it. I do know why I stopped, but I just never flew again. Now that I'm old and forgetful and crippled, I want to go flying again. And I've even looked at airplanes, airplanes for sale. They're not a whole lot more ridiculous now than they were back then. But you have to pass a physical, and I don't think I could pass a physical. Plus, after that incident yesterday, me just falling asleep unexpected, that makes me scared of flying. Unless I had another pilot in the cockpit with me. So I'm never going to do it, but it's something I would like to do. Anyway, what caught my eye this morning when I went to YouTube to see where I left off yesterday, there's a flying video, and I'm not subscribed to their channel. I didn't even notice what the channel was. There's only one airplane channel I'm subscribed to, and it's a pilot out of Houston. And a lot of places they fly I am familiar with, since I lived in Houston and around Houston for many years. And so it's just fun to watch, to see back home and see piloting and flying all in the same video. But anyway, this one this morning, it popped up. I was not subscribed to, never heard of it. It was a young man and woman, and I don't know what the heck they do for a living, but they have a mansion on a runway. There's they said it was a 5,000 foot long runway, and there's probably, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 houses that back up to that runway. And I guess they all have their own hangar and their own access to the runway. Anyway, they were flying to Bahamas. I don't know where they live, somewhere in America, but I don't know where. Anyway, they were going to fly to the Bahamas, and they said, let's go get whatever, called out a name. And I thought, you know, maybe it was a dog or a cat. I knew it wasn't a person's name. And they went in the house and they got a pig, a pet pig. And it walked out to the airplane with them, and they had to get up in the airplane and they took off to the Bahamas. I didn't know you could take pigs to Bahamas or anywhere else. You know, when I sold my place in Texas, I have a house in Spain, a beautiful place up on the top of a high mountain on the northeast side of the Atlantic Ocean. It's on a peninsula, really, in the northeast side of the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea, maybe. I can't remember. There's a sea on the right side and that ocean on the left side. And you're like sitting on top of the world, and you can see for miles and miles around. It's a beautiful place. You go upstairs in the house and you can see everything. Downstairs, pretty much all you see is the houses around you. But anyway, my plans was to move there. I had owned that house for 10 years. I paid 50% down when I bought it back in 2012 and financed the balance for 10 years. And so it got paid off in 2022. So I thought, well, I'll just move there. I don't have a house payment. I've had it rented the whole time to the same guy, a single man, has been renting it ever since I bought it. Got a property management company there that collects the rent and pays the insurance and paid the mortgage every month for me. I didn't have to do anything. They did it all. So I thought, well, I'll just go move there. And I started getting everything ready. I started shipping stuff over there. I don't remember, $4,000 or $5,000 in postage just to ship stuff there, some of my books and stuff. And I gave away or sold all of the furniture and tools and guns and everything that I had. I got rid of just about everything except my clothes. And to take Kitty Callie with me, I had to get a pet passport, which I never heard of before. And it took over a month. It took probably 2 or 3 months. I can't remember, but it dragged out forever. Had to get all kind of tests done and had to apply from the government for a pet passport. Spain had to approve it and just all kind of stuff. I had paid over $750 until the point that I decided not to go there. I wish I had now because I hate it here. But and I still hadn't got the pet passport yet. That was going to be another $500 or something. But I had to go through all of that to take her to Europe. And I'm wondering what, evidently you don't have to do anything to go to Bahamas with a pig. Well, that made me laugh over and over and over, you know, them flying their pet pig to Bahamas with them. And those people, this trip, they went in a turbo twin engine airplane. It was probably would hold 8 or 10 people. It was a good size airplane. But they've got another one that's a jet, like a Citation, Cessna Citation, a big personal jet. And both the husband and the wife both flies both of them. So they must have a good job, or I don't know what, or running drugs or something. I don't know how they got their money, but they got some rich people stuff. And now I have rambled for 16 minutes. It looks like maybe 10. I can't tell. I better shut up and get to reading. I think we only got 4 chapters left in Zechariah, and I was planning on finishing it. 1, 2, 3. Just got 3 chapters left. So I'm going to try to finish it. And I'm sorry I did so much rambling. The burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, saith the Lord, which stretcheth forth the heavens, and layeth the foundation of the earth, and formeth the spirit of man within him. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege, both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people, and that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. And that prophecy is presently being fulfilled. In that day, saith the Lord, I will smite every horse with astonishment, and his rider with madness. And I will open mine eyes upon the house of Judah, and will smite every horse of the people with blindness. And the governors of Judah shall say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength, and the Lord of hosts their God. In that day will I make the governors of Judah like a hearth of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in a sheaf. And they shall devour all the people round about, on the right hand and on the left. And Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. And that prophecy is going to be fulfilled, I think, within the next 7 or 8 years. The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Bam! And that's going to be awesome. I hope Jesus lets us watch from up above. Well, actually, I guess we'll be down here with them, because we're coming back with them for the end. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Israel, and I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplications, and they shall look upon me whom they have pierced. And they shall mourn for him as one mourneth for his only son. So shortly they are going to wake up to the fact that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. The Messiah that they're expecting is and was and has forever been Jesus. And soon they're going to realize that, very soon. And shall be in bitterness for him as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn. In that day shall there be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as the mourning of Hadadrimmon in the valley of Megiddon. And the land shall mourn every family apart, the family of the house of David apart, and their wives apart, the family of the house of Nathan apart, and their wives apart, the family of the house of Levi apart, and their wives apart, the family of Shimei apart, and their wives apart, and the families that remain, every family apart, and their wives apart. Chapter 13 of Zechariah. In that day there shall be a fountain opened to the house of David and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem for sin and uncleanness. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will cut off the names of the idols out of the land, and they shall no more be remembered. And also I will cause the prophets and the unclean spirit to pass out of the land. And it shall come to pass that when any shall yet prophesy, then his father and his mother that begat him shall say unto him, Thou shalt not live, for thou speakest lies in the name of the Lord. And his father and his mother that begat him shall thrust him through when he prophesieth. And it shall come to pass in that day that the prophets shall be ashamed every one of his vision when he hath prophesied, neither shall he wear a rough garment to deceive. But he shall say, I am no prophet, I am a husbandman, for a man taught me to keep cattle from my youth. And one shall say unto him, What are these wounds in thy hands? Then he shall answer, Those with which I was wounded in the house of my friends. Awake, O sword, against my shepherds, and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherds, and the sheep shall be scattered. And I will turn mine hand upon the little ones, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, It is my people, and they shall say, The Lord is my God. Bam, y'all. Chapter 14, Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. The day of the Lord is coming. Behold, I just read it. Will I gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of battle. And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west, and there shall be a very great valley, and half the mountain shall remove toward the north, and half of it toward the south. There's going to be some strange things happening then, some very strange things, some very scary things. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azel. Yes, ye shall flee, like as ye fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah. And the Lord my God shall come and all the saints with thee. And it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark, but it shall be one day which shall be known to the Lord, not day, nor night, but it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light. And it shall be in that day that living waters shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them toward the former sea, and half of them toward the hinder sea. And summer and in winter shall it be. And the Lord shall be king over all the earth. In that day shall there be one Lord, and his name one. And the land shall be turned as a plain from Geba to Rimmon, south of Jerusalem, and it shall be lifted up and inhabited in her place, from Benjamin's gate unto the place of the first gate, unto the corner gate, and from the tower of Hananeel unto the king's wine presses. And men shall dwell in it, and there shall be no more utter destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. That does not sound like fun to me. And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. And Judah also shall fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together, gold and silver and apparel in great abundance. And so shall be the plague of the horse, of the mule, of the camel, and of the ass, and of all the beasts that shall be in these tents, as this plague. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left in all the nations which come against Israel, against Jerusalem, shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. And it shall be that whosoever shall not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. And the family of Egypt go not up and come out, and come not, that have no rain. There shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of the Tabernacles. This shall be the punishment of Egypt, the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. In that day shall there be upon the bells of the horses holiness unto the Lord, and the pots in the Lord's house shall be like the bowls before the altar. Yea, every pot in Jerusalem and in Judah shall be holiness unto the Lord of hosts, and all they that sacrifice shall come and take of them, and seethe therein. And in that day there shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of the Lord of hosts. And that's it. We finished Malachi. That's another one down. We're knocking them out pretty good, y'all. We're going to finish before the year ends. I don't think the year's going to end. I think we're going to get raptured out of here before the year ends. What do y'all think? Of course, I've been thinking that for the last 10 years. And it hadn't happened yet, but I don't know how we can go much further without it happening. And y'all, I'm sure y'all have noticed I'm struggling reading now. I don't know what's wrong, something in my brain is dying or something, but and a lot of times I start stuttering. I'm really having trouble reading the regular old timey King James Version. I, I lived in England for 3 years. I traveled back and forth to England for 2 years before I moved there. I can talk like them, but I can't talk like them now. I don't know why, but I may go back and try the new King James Version for a while and see if I can talk better without stuttering and stumbling over those words. It's just my brain can't think right like it used to. So I may try that for a while, for a day or two anyway. And if it works good, then I'll stick with it. If it doesn't work good, I'll go back to the regular old timey King James Version. I don't like the way I feel now, and the way I stutter and stammer and so forth. And I better get off here because I feel like I'm going to fall asleep again like I did yesterday. It just, bam, happened. I felt like I was getting not really sleepy, just like I was going to pass out or something for about a minute or two before I passed out. And I'm starting to feel that way now, so I'm going to get off here. I could talk to y'all all day. Love y'all. I appreciate you. Thank y'all for putting up with my weirdness. Really, I used to be a cool guy. Now I'm just a cuckoo guy. And I guess that's part of getting old. That part of getting old is not fun. I never thought it happened to me. But it has, and it is. I just pray it doesn't get any worse. I'm here all alone. There's not been anybody in this house besides me for 3 or 4 months, maybe longer than that. And only like 3 or 4 times since I lived here. Most people up here hate me, so they don't come. Even I bake a cake, a nice, pretty, tasty cake for a new friend, and they never come get it. And I don't know where they live, so guess who has to eat that cake? That's happened several times. They don't like me, and I'm not real crazy about them either. But for now, it's where God put me, and I am still looking at houses elsewhere, especially in Texas. Yesterday I found a property in Texas that I love, two properties actually, and that I can actually afford to pay cash for. One of them is just a lot, and it's got a lot of trees on it, which I like. And if I buy just a piece of land like that, I want to build one of those tiny houses on it, or buy another big RV like I had after Hurricane Harvey back in Texas. That RV I had, I kept saying I could live in it forever, till I die or till I got raptured out of there. And I could have. It was a nice, big, roomy RV. But it was an RV. I just got tired of it. And I couldn't take care of that much land anymore. I just flat physically could not take care of it, and it was driving me crazy that I couldn't take care of it the way I used to. I wanted it manicured and beautiful and very productive all the time like it did when I was younger, and I couldn't do that. I tried. I'd work from sun up to sunset. I just flat couldn't do it anymore, and so I sold it. Now I want a piece of land with trees for either a tiny house or another uh, RV. And I found one yesterday that had a nice piece of land with some trees and a mobile home. And I never really considered a mobile home, but that might be good for me. Just getting up, in, and out of it might be a problem because I can't walk very good and I can't climb stairs very good. I won't climb stairs. On a step ladder, I'll go up to the second step, and that's as high as I'll go. If I have to go higher, I'll have to hire somebody. And up here, nobody wants to work, so that's a problem. And I even offer to pay the people big money, and they don't want to work. I guess they're on government assistance or something and don't have to work, so they don't work. All right, y'all. That's it. And I've rambled 31 minutes. That's not bad, though, because you got, uh, wherever we was at, I forgot, Zechariah, Zephaniah, one of the Z boys finished, and a lot of good visiting. I love y'all. God bless you, friends.